Welcome back to the Deep Dive. I'm Mark Buzz, and I'm really excited to get into another fascinating topic with you today.
Hey there.
And joining me, as always, to help us unpack all the details is the brilliant Anna Bugs.
Always great to be here for another deep dive.
So today we're tackling something that probably makes some of you kind of shift in your seats a little bit. Spiders.
Oh, yes, spiders.
Specifically, why these eight-legged critters seem to be, well, setting up shop in our homes, especially if you're somewhere like California.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe more importantly, what we can actually do about it.
Right, the practical side.
Exactly. Our main source for this is a really helpful article by Ian Chi from Simple Pest Management. It's called Why Spiders Are Coming Into Your Home and How to Shop Them. And it just came out May 6th, 2025.
Fresh off the press.
Yeah. So our mission really is to figure out the main reasons spiders decide to move in, pull out those key bits of advice from the experts, and, give you some solid, actionable solutions. We're aiming for those aha moments that lead straight to practical, hopefully bug-free takeaways.
That's the goal.
So, yeah, if you find this deep dive useful, if you like what you're hearing, please do hit that follow button, maybe give us a like. It honestly helps us bring more of this stuff to you. Hashtag tag of the deep dives, understanding and preventing spider invasions. Okay, let's dive in. The article kicks off pointing out something lots of homeowners notice, right? Like more spiders, especially late summer, early fall. What's driving that? Why then?
Well, it really comes down to their basic biology. Spiders get way more active as summer starts to fade into fall.
Okay.
And it's not just random wandering. For a lot of species, this is prime mating season.
Ah, right. Mating season.
Exactly. So they're out looking for mates, and crucially, they're looking for safe, sheltered slots to lay their eggs.
And our house looks pretty good.
Your house looks perfect. It's warm, it's quiet, it's protected from weather. It's basically a five-star hotel for a spider looking to start a family.
Huh. The perfect nursery.
Pretty much. So when you see more of them, it's often just this natural instinct kicking in. They need to reproduce, protect the next generation. They're not, like, targeting you personally.
Right. It's just their life cycle playing out.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, so if our homes are basically these ideal maternity wards,
Yeah.
how do we make them, way less appealing?
Yeah.
Especially from the outside during this busy season.
Yeah. How do we make it less welcoming? So the first thing, and honestly, often the most effective, is just physically blocking them out, fortifying the place.
Like building a wall.
Sort of. The article really stresses sealing up cracks, crevices, any little gaps they could use to get in.
Okay.
Think about those tiny cracks around window frames, or maybe where a pipe goes into the wall, or even like the weather stripping on your garage door might be a bit worn.
Yeah, mine definitely is.
Right. So caulk is your best friend here. It's cheap. It works really well. Weatherproof tape can work too for maybe bigger gaps or temporary fixes.
No.
And definitely don't forget the spots people usually miss, like crawl spaces, vents, where pipes come through the foundation. Spiders love those easy routes.
The spider superhighways.
Exactly. By sealing those up, you're basically putting up a big no vacancy sign, boarding up the windows, so to speak.
Gotcha. That's practical. Cut them off before they even smell the coffee or the warmth inside.
Precisely.
But it's not just about finding a cozy spot, is it? The article mentions they're also looking for dinner. Is there, like, a link between other bugs in the house and why spiders show up?
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge piece of the puzzle. Spiders are predators, right? They go where the food is.
Makes sense.
And the article is super clear on this. If you've got an underlying issue with other common pests, maybe some cockroaches, maybe fleas from a pet, maybe even bed bugs you don't know about, spiders will follow. Because those other bugs, that's lunch, dinner, breakfast.
A buffet.
Exactly. It's a whole food chain thing happening right inside your house, often totally out of sight. So if you have one pest problem, it can easily attract another, like spiders.
Wow. Okay, that is a big aha moment.
Is it?
It's not just the spiders, it's what they're eating.
Mm-hmm.
So does it have to be like a massive roach infestation to bring them in?
Mm-hmm.
Or can just a few bugs do it? And then what should you, the homeowner, actually do?
Yeah, it doesn't always take a huge invasion. Even just a consistent, low-level supply of prey can be enough to signal good hunting ground to a spider.
Okay.
And the implication there is pretty significant. Dealing with those other pests isn't just good for, not having roaches. It's critical for controlling spiders, too.
Right. Cut off the food supply.
Exactly. The article suggests a pretty direct solution. Get professional pest control in to handle those primary bugs, eliminate their food source.
Makes sense.
Because you can seal every single crack. But if there's an all-you-can-eat insect buffet inside, spiders are pretty persistent. They'll find a way eventually. So tackling that root cause, the food source, that's a really solid long-term strategy for keeping spiders out.
Right. Okay, so beyond food, spiders have their favorite spots, their hangouts.
Yeah.
The article points out a few areas, inside and outside. Let's start inside. Basements, attics, crawl spaces. Why are those such spider magnets?
Well, it makes perfect sense if you think like a spider for a second.
Okay, I'm thinking 8 legs, webs.
Huh. Right. Basements, attics, crawl spaces, they're usually quiet, they're dark, and crucially, they're often left undisturbed for ages.
Yeah, nobody really goes in my attic much.
Exactly. So tons of hiding spots. And if they haven't been cleaned out in a while, you've got old cobwebs, which basically tells a new spider, hey, this is a good spot.
Like a recommendation?
Kinda. Plus, the article mentions damp areas are big attractors too. Basements, bathrooms, laundry rooms.
Why dampness?
Because moisture attracts other bugs. Things like silverfish, centipedes, even some roaches love damp spots.
So it's the food chain again.
Yep. Double whammy. Great shelter. Plus a built-in food supply. Perfect spider real estate.
Okay, so dark, quiet, maybe a bit damp with some snacks nearby.
Yeah.
Got it. What about outside? Just, right outside the door, are
Yeah.
there things out there drawing them closer?
Oh, definitely. Often, the invasion starts right outside your walls.
Makes sense.
The article flags things like wood piles stacked up right against the house, classic mistake.
Guilty.
Huh. Or overgrown bushes, ivy climbing up the walls. Anything touching the house basically acts like a bridge.
Right.
If you always see webs around your porch or near windows, that's a sign you've got an outdoor spider hub nearby just waiting for a chance to sneak in.
Okay.
And then there's outdoor lights. Big one.
Because they attract bugs.
Exactly. Bright lights at night pull in moths, gnats, all sorts of flying insects. For a spider, that's like setting up a neon sign that says diner open all night.
So they just hang out nearby and wait?
You got it. Prime hunting grounds.
Right.
Right next to potential entry points into your nice warm house.
Okay, so knowing where they like to be inside and out, what are the fixes? How do we make these spots less appealing?
Right, the solutions. So for those dark, cluttered indoor zones, basements, attics, it's really about regular cleaning and decluttering.
Elbow grease.
Yep. Vacuuming regularly gets rid of webs, egg sacs. Remember, those can hold hundreds of baby spiders?
Hundreds. Okay, vacuuming.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Toss out old boxes, junk they can hide in. Quick tip. Use plastic storage bins instead of cardboard.
Oh,
Spiders find it harder to hide in plastic, and it seals better.
good tip.
And yeah, check under beds, behind furniture, in closets you don't use often. Just keep things tidy.
Okay, what about the damp spots? Bathrooms, basements?
Moisture control is key there. Fix any leaks pronto. Use an exhaust fan in the bathroom, maybe a dehumidifier in the basement if it's really damp. Good airflow helps a lot. It makes it less comfy for the bugs and the spiders.
Right, tackle the dampness. And outside,
Well-
the wood piles and bushes.
Okay, outside, trim back plants so they're not touching the house. Give yourself a clear boundary.
Create some space.
Exactly. Move wood piles way back. The article suggests at least 20 feet if you can.
20 feet. Wow.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
a difference. It's shelter for them. And then, basic preventative stuff. Seal gaps in the foundation. Maybe use a perimeter spray if you feel you need it.
Okay, and the lights. The bug diner.
For the lights, try switching to yellow bug light bulbs. They're less attractive to most insects.
Ah, the yellow ones.
Yep. Or use motion sensor lights so they're not on constantly. And if possible, try to position lights a bit away from doors and windows, pointing the light outwards, not right at your entry points.
Smart. Direct the traffic away.
Yeah.
That's a lot of good practical stuff. It really feels like, spiders don't need much of an invitation. Just a tiny crack sometimes. The article mentions small cracks and gaps specifically.
Yeah.
How big a deal are those little openings?
Oh, they're a huge deal. It's kind of surprising how little space a spider actually needs.
Really?
Yeah, they can flatten themselves out and squeeze through openings you wouldn't think possible. The article points out they often get in through tiny holes in walls, maybe where window seals aren't perfect, or gaps under the garage door you barely notice. And these aren't just like minor flaws, they're open doors. And think about it if a spider can get through.
So can other things.
Exactly. Termites, ants, maybe even small rodents could use those same little gaps, so it can lead to bigger problems than just spiders. Really highlights why checking your home's exterior is so important.
Okay, so these tiny gaps are actually major entry points for all sorts of pests. What's the absolute best way to deal with them, to shut down those routes?
Well, the best defense is a good offense, or maybe just a good seal. It really comes down to a solid perimeter defense. You need to systematically go around the entire outside of your house and seal every crack, hole, and gap you can find.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. It takes time. You have to be thorough, almost like a detective. Use caulk, maybe some expanding foam for bigger gaps, whatever sealant is appropriate. Close up every little opening.
Sounds like a bit of work, but worth it.
Definitely a worthwhile weekend project. And the article also notes that pest control pros can be really helpful here too. Well, they're trained to spot those tricky entry points you might miss, maybe high up in the eaves or hidden behind shrubs. They know what to look for.
Right, the hidden spots.
Exactly. And then they can help apply targeted solutions, protecting you not just from spiders, but from whatever else might be trying to sneak in those same ways. It's about creating a really robust, lasting barrier.
Okay, so wrapping this all up,
Hmm?
what does this mean for you listening right now? I think this deep dive really shows that spider problems aren't just, random bad luck.
Not at all.
They're usually a sign, a signal about specific conditions. Maybe it's the season, maybe it's other pests, maybe just clutter or dampness you haven't dealt with. And understanding that, it really gives you the power to act,
Right.
to take back control and make your home less inviting for them.
Absolutely. And while a lot of these fixes are DIY friendly, the article does make a good point. If you're constantly battling spiders, especially tricky ones like black widows or brown recluses.
Yeah, don't want those around.
Right. Or if you just can't seem to get rid of those cobwebs that pop up overnight, it might be time to call in the professionals.
Makes sense.
It specifically mentions simple pest management. They offer spider control, general pest control across various parts of California,
Yeah.
San Diego, South Riverside, Sacramento, West Placer counties.
Oh.
And their approach sounds pretty solid, not just treating what you see, but trying to stop it from happening again. They offer a bug-free guarantee and free quotes, which, sounds like good peace of mind.
Definitely. So we really hope this deep dive into why spiders come inside has been super useful for you. If you enjoyed it, if you got something out of it, please do make sure to follow us. Give this deep dive a like.
Yeah, it really helps. And hey, since Simple Pest Management's mission, according to the article, is centered on family well-being, and they believe the answer is simple for all pest issues, maybe give them a follow on social media too. Stay up to date on pest tips.
Good idea. Okay, as we wrap up, here's something to think about. What other little annoyances in your home, things that seem minor, might actually be clues? Clues to a deeper, maybe kind of fascinating, natural interaction happening right there under your nose.